What is going on, everybody? It's JT Animations here. How are you all doing? Hope you all had a good Christmas. Hope you're looking forward to the new year. Now, I thought, what better way to end 2023 than by discussing my top 10 Marvel Legends of the year. Now, I'm just going to say it, this list isn't going to be for everyone. This is my list, it's my personal preference. You're going to have a different list, he's going to have a different list, she's going to have a different list. Tell me what your list is in the comment section down below. Tell me what you think of my list, I'd love to hear it. Now, before we get into my top 10, these two figures, we're going to call them my runner-ups. They're really great figures. They just got beat out by a reason or two, so they're not actually on the top 10. This Nebula. Guardians 3. I love the figures. I love that they look like they're part of a team. The suits are fantastic. I think the whole wave suffered from a lack of accessories. Except for Nebula, which is why she almost got into the top 10. I think she's got a lot of accessories. The articulation is really great. That head sculpt, also fantastic. Wonder Man, such a great figure. He looks really cool. He's just not my preference for what Wonder Man should really look like, to be completely honest. I don't mind the design, it's just not what I'm used to, but he comes with little to no accessories, which I'm not a big fan of. Figures should have accessories, it makes them more playable. But he does look really good with the West Coast Avengers, so I still like him, but not quite on the list. So with that all out of the way, we're going to get on to number 10. And at the number 10 spot, we have the X-Men 97 carded Wolverine. I think this figure really is great. It looks great. His articulation, fantastic. He does have a few problems, which is why he's number 10. A big thing that it really annoys me is the lack of paint on the arm hair. I honestly think it looks really weird without having the paint. I understand what they're going for. In a perfect world, I wish they would have painted it. Another big thing is the two head sculpts are fantastic. I really dig the look of both the cowl and the maskless. The only thing is, I wish he had an aggressive look. It's Wolverine, he's fighting people, he's angry. But a big problem for me is that he doesn't have a really aggressive looking face sculpt. So in terms of the posability, he always looks almost a little bored, like he doesn't want to be there. Which isn't not accurate for the character, it's just not what I would have rathered. I think his proportions are great. He looks great with the other X-Men 97 figures, he looks good with your movie figures, he looks good with the comic figures. He really does look good. He's just missing those few things that would have made him perfect. I think the addition of the downward cowl is fantastic. Really love that. Really good job. That is my number 10. Now, we get on to number 9. And at number 9, we have the Spider-Man Retro Card Wave Electro Daredevil. This figure is fantastic. It looks great. It plays great. It is lacking in accessories. Again, a lot of figures this year lacked in accessories. But that's okay, because it's still really fun to pose around and to play with. The size it comes with, they look great. I really like how you can kind of weave them into the grooves of the fingers and get them in these more unique poses that a lot of figures wouldn't be able to take them in. Bit of a problem I have seen is, the articulation is fantastic. You've got pinless double jointed arms, pinless double jointed legs. This could just be my figure. The pins aren't very strong. They feel a little gummy at times, and so I get a little nervous moving it around. Hopefully it's just mine. Hopefully you haven't had the same problem if you got the figure. Another thing is I'm worried about the hair breaking. It feels very fragile. I'm very careful with the head, especially the few times I've popped it off to do some head swaps. I got a little nervous that I'm going to break it, but I haven't done it yet, and I've got a pretty bad track record of accidentally breaking my toys. But yeah, so at number 9, Electro Daredevil. Great figure, great articulation. Now, let's get on to number 8. And at the number 8 spot, we have the Ode Build-A-Figure Wave Starjammers Corsair. Now this is a figure I'm really glad they made. I think it looks fantastic, and it kind of fits in different places on your shelf. You can have them with, if you're building your Starjammers. I'm really glad I have them to complete the Summers family look. I finally have Cyclops and Havoc's dad, especially with the Vulcan release this year. I'm very glad that we've gotten this figure. I think his accessories are actually pretty great. The sword, he's got his gun, fists, gun holding hands, really well done. He poses really great. If I could nitpick, which I'm gonna do, is I would have loved an alternate head. Again, he looks very stoic, very heroic, and that's fantastic. I would have minded a more aggressive, I'm in a fight type face, but again, I'm just nitpicking. A big thing I am finding, and this has been a problem with a lot of figures this year, is the butterfly joints aren't fantastic. I think for this figure, they do what they need. And I know I could modify them, but I'm not going to risk breaking another toy. I could modify them in theory. I'm not going to, but I think some people have. And if they do it, if it's easy, please let me know how I can do it, because I would really like to do it, but I'm not going to. Anyway, fantastic looking figure. Really great piece for the shelf. I think the reason it's this low on the list is it just got beat out by some favorites of mine. Because again, really cool character. As a character, I'm really glad they made. But if they didn't make it, I wouldn't have lost any sleep. Alrighty. Now we're going to get on to the number 7 spot on my list. And at the number 7 spot, we have the Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest, Grey Hulk and Bruce Banner 2-pack, specifically the Grey Hulk. Now, I love this figure. I really do. It's actually my first Hulk I've gotten on this body mold. I didn't get the last couple ones that have been on it. Couldn't tell you why. I just didn't. But I really dig the look of this figure. The articulation is fantastic. The accessories also fantastic. I love the way he looks. I really like the alternative head sculpt. I stick with my angry one. I love my angry action figure heads. I love it to make it look like they're in battle. But I do really like both of them. Getting fisted hands, grabbing hands for both, again, also really great. The metal pipe he comes with to hit different characters with, also fantastic. But this figure, it's just endless amounts of fun. Probably one of the figures I've posed around and played with the most this year. He was a big contender in one of my stop motions this year, so maybe I'm being a little biased putting him this high on the list, but this is right where he deserves in my opinion. Love the look. I love playing with him, posing him around. Great figure all around. With that being said, we're going to move on to number 6. At the number 6 spot, we have the Amazon exclusive West Coast Avengers 5-pack Mockingbird. This figure looks absolutely fantastic. The amount of accessories she comes with, the double jointed pinless legs, such fantastic features of this figure. And this figure honestly could have been in the top 3. There's just a few problems. The single jointed elbows, they're annoying, but I think with the design of the costume, it kind of makes sense why they had to do it. But a thing I'm not really a big fan of is the hair being in such a wavy position. I would rather to just sit down flat or to have an alternate head where it does sit down flat, but that's alright because it still does look really great, especially when you put it next to the Hawkeye and Sky Cycle pack we got this year. Together they look great. I know there was a Mockingbird not too long ago, but also not that recently, and I much prefer this design of the costume. I think it looks great. It poses well. It's very fun to play around with, to get into quite dynamic poses. Now, let's get on to the number 5. And at the number 5 spot, we have the X-Men Retro Carded Wave Dark Phoenix. Really great figure. Figure that I've really wanted in my collection. Honestly, number 6 and number 5, the two figures, they constantly battle between who's going to be just a slight bit higher. I did end up going with Dark Phoenix just because it's a figure I would rather have in my collection. Her lack of accessories is very disappointing, but that's been a lot of figures this year. Again, not a big fan of the wavy hair. I think it passes better with this figure because you can kind of get it to look like it's sitting depending on which angle I'm shooting it from. But it's just such a great looking figure. The pinless, double jointed arms and legs, fantastic. The Firebird accessory comes with, again, really cool. Love the way it looks. Overall, such a great figure. With that being said, let's get on to number 4. At the number 4 spot, we have the Beyond Earth's Mightiest Hawkeye and Sky Cycle pack. Such a great figure. Truly, really is. The design, the articulation, the soft, good fabric, fantastic. I really couldn't care less about the Sky Cycle. It's fun to have, and it's fun to play with. I would have rather not have to pay the price of that and just get the Hawkeye figure on its own, but beggars can't be choosers. I think the figure really looks great. Pretty decent accessories. I love that it comes with an arrow. I think all Hawkeye figures should come with an arrow. He's an archer, but he looks really great next to Mockingbird and with the rest of your West Coast Avengers. That 5-pack, he looks fantastic with them. Few complaints. I don't know if this is just my figure or what everyone else's experience, but the boot swivel constantly feel like that peg is going to break. It stresses me out. It makes him kind of hard to stand at times. He falls over, which is really annoying. But I do have a bit of a soft spot for Hawkeye. I love the character. The comic book suited Hawkeye from however many years ago was actually one of my first ever Marvel Legends I got. So I might, be a little biased, but this is my list. I'm gonna be biased as much as I want. But I think it looks great. I would have loved an alternate head. Again, give us some angry alternate heads. Hasbro, please. Please, please, please. But still looks fantastic. It's fun to play with. deserves the number 4 spot. So without further ado, we are going to get on to the number 3. And at the number 3 spot, we have the Amazing Spider-Man 2 carded Amazing Spider-Man. Okay. He doesn't look like this. He doesn't look like this. Let me fix that. Alrighty, there we go. This is actually what the figure looks like. That accessory pack I bought is really cool. I really like it. I think it should have come with it. But this is a great figure. I mean, it has some very serious flaws. The butterfly joints really need to be modified for them to actually be worth anything. The lack of accessories. I mean, we have decent accessories, don't get me wrong. There's some accessories. The Andrew Garfield head sculpt is fantastic. Best head sculpt of the wave, in my opinion. But there's the glaring problem of only having one web-crawling hand and one fist. Obviously, they've done that to still incentivize people to buy the 3-pack. I didn't buy the 3-pack. I live in Australia. It's incredibly hard to get that 3-pack here because we don't have Hasbro Pulse here, or whatever it's called that you can buy all the exclusives from. We don't get it. Super annoying. Whatever. But this figure's fantastic. Andrew Garfield is my Spider-Man. He's my favorite. I remember watching his movies in cinemas as a wee little kid, and I've always loved this suit. Looks great. It's always been great. So he deserved the number 3 spot. I actually have a few of these figures. I know. Yeah, I shouldn't get too many, but couldn't help it. They're just fantastic figure. And at the number 2 spot, we have the Beyond Earth's Mightiest Black Widow. This figure, my goodness, it is fantastic. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Target exclusive in Australia. There's no such thing as a Target exclusive. They all go to Zing, so they're really easy to get here. I've heard some stories of people not finding this figure, but there's not really a problem here. But this figure's fantastic. 3 head sculpts, you have a million accessories, butterfly joints on a female figure, absolutely mind-blowing. This figure's fantastic. I love everything it comes with. This head here is probably my favorite. I think it's just a cool looking sculpt. I really dig the hair, but this is the head sculpt I actually pose with it the most. I think it's the most Black Widow looking head sculpt, and probably is the best one overall, just not my favorite one. But this figure is fantastic. It absolutely knocks most other figures out of the water. There is one figure that beat it, and I think we should discuss that figure right now. Let's get in to number 1. And at the number 1 spot, the Spider-Man No Way Home Final Swing Suit. This figure is, in my opinion, perfect. It really is. The accessories, perfect. Finally, a Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man figure that has wall-crawling hands. Really shouldn't be that amazed that it comes with it. That should be a normal thing, but here we are. This figure really does it. The head sculpt looks fantastic. Somehow they've already upgraded it from the 2-pack, which good on them. They didn't have to do it, but they did. Really love it. What I really dig about this figure is the masked head sculpt. It actually looks like there's a head underneath the mask, because it seems a little bigger, which gives off the effect that, hey, there's actually a head in here, which I think's fantastic. The articulation, really well done. The butterfly joints, okay. A lot of figures this year have suffered from poor butterfly joints. I've seen a lot of people mod it. I haven't modded it, and I want to break it. Might do it though. But this figure, I mean, it looks fantastic. It plays fantastic. It poses fantastically. Deserves the number 1 spot. I mean, it was pretty close between him and Black Widow, but Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character. I'm biased, you know. It's my list. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. Just please be nice about it. Or don't. It's whatever. Alright, we're getting off track. I love this figure. Truly fantastic. And this has been my top 10. Let's get into the end. And that has been my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2023. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your opinion on my list. I'd love to hear about your list. Let me know down in the comment section below. While you're down there, let me know what you thought of this kind of style of video. Never done something like this before. And if you liked it, let me know. Maybe I'll do some more. Maybe. We'll have to see. But I just wanted to end the year by saying thank you all so much. This has been my first year on YouTube, and it has been fantastic. I've made some really great friends, met some amazing people. I've been showed so much love and support, and I truly appreciate it until the ends of the earth. It has meant everything to me. I have so much planned for 2024. I cannot wait to show you. I cannot wait to share it with you. So please have a happy and a safe new year. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, leave me a comment, even subscribe. And I'm going to see you all in 2024. Thank you.